Well, the fourth quarter of 2017 is coming to a close. Marty here with you at Warehouse and Operations as a Career. Your company's probably been busy this month with a whole lot going on. Many facilities may be not only closing the books on the month, but have the quarterly reporting going on as well as the end of the year. For us on the floor, if our fiscal year or financial year is ending, we are probably seeing asset lists being made and inventories being taken. I remember having to account for every pallet, battery, freezer suit, really everything that we were using in the warehouse. My supervisor and manager would really be stressing over having the, all the answers for the accountants and their bosses at the end of the year. And inventory, or the counting of every box and case of product in the building, a time-consuming endeavor to say the least. Your facility may actually shut down operations and solicit help from the salesforce and all the other departments to perform this yearly function. Even if your company is utilizing a cycle count program or cycle count system, meaning every item is counted a specific number of times a year to keep inventories, level and accurate at all times, a total inventory may be requested around this time of year. Of course, as we in operations know the product so well, not to mention every nook and cranny of the warehouse, we'll usually play a big part in the task. I guess it's just part of the job, right? And maybe even provide us with a good amount of overtime. For me, myself, the dread was always having to work with salesmen or the people from other departments that really knew nothing about the product or even how to count the tie highs and pallets. Personally, I was always glad when a full-blown inventory was over and we could get started on the new year. Speaking of a new year, it's just about here, isn't it? The new year is a great time to reboot and catch that second wind. Kind of makes me reflect on the past year and welcome the new one in. Here at WAOC, we've talked quite a bit of the importance of goals in our careers. We've set several for ourselves this year. How'd you do? Did we accomplish all we wanted to? Several of our listeners worked for and received that promotion, got noticed by their management teams, and earned that raise they wanted or earned that next position. I'd like to think we all did a great job this year. Let's all pat ourselves on the back and give ourselves a big round of applause. Seriously though, it is time to plan out next year now. If we want to make $5,000 more next year than we did this year, that's only $2.40 an hour we need to make at regular time this year, and we can somewhat control our wages, so it's guaranteed we can. Some of my favorite quotes may be able to help us out there. Zig Ziglar, one of my favorites, said, "If you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. If you are determined to learn, no one can stop you." I saw this one recently on Facebook. I think it came from the Vibrant Mind. When a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. I know myself, if I interject myself close to successful people, it helps me make better decisions. One that helps me almost daily is, don't ruin a good today by thinking about a bad yesterday. Let it go. I think I found that a long time ago on lifeadvancer.com. One thing I worked hard on this year, and is probably my strongest accomplishment, is just keeping my mouth shut more often. I get in a lot of trouble by thinking something and it just rolling out of my mouth. Oh, and how can we talk about quotes and not mention a few from my absolute favorite, Vince Lombardi? Winning is not a sometime thing, it is an all-the-time thing. You don't do things right once in a while, you do them right all the time. Another one, unless a man believes in himself and makes a total commitment to his career and puts everything he has into it, his mind, his body, his heart, what's life worth to him? Oh, and this is a good one here. The quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of their chosen field of endeavor. I'll put the links to today's quotes in the show notes at warehouse-and-operations-as-a-career.com in case you'd like to look at others as well. I like looking them up. It's fun and interesting to me. I wouldn't want to be the person to tell Vince Lombardi that I couldn't make an additional $2.40 an hour next year. I don't feel he had much patience for the word can't or couldn't. Henry Ford left us with, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. I myself tried to quit using those words a long time ago. This year at WAOC, we talked of our responsibilities as employees, from researching where we wanted to work and who we wanted to work for, to building our resumes, acing our interviews, being on time for our shifts every day, and learning to be among the best at our task and getting noticed by our management teams. We've talked a lot about participating in shifts meetings, startup meetings, and how they can put us, on our manager's radar. Putting all that to practice will earn us that additional $5,000 next year. I'm certain. I know that it's possible. So what are some of our goals for next year? Write them out. Put it on paper and keep it with you, and I feel you'll meet every one of them. What position handles the case after you finish with it? Does that pay more? Want to do that job? Let your supervisor know what you want to do and ask how you need to go about it. Want to operate that piece of equipment? Will it pay us more? Let your boss know you're ready to take on more responsibility. It'll happen. Another thing we're learning is that taking on responsibility pays. The more responsibility we take on, the more we're likely to earn. In my travels this month, I encountered several, really too many stories where individuals had either backed off their goals or was just quitting their positions due to simply not communicating well. Now, some promotions or positions just aren't going to work out. Maybe we didn't do enough research on what our duties were going to be, or possibly the job's duties weren't explained correctly to us. Sometimes we reach our goal only to find it requires more hours, task, or responsibility than what we're really comfortable with. Or if we had communicated our frustrations and challenges better, or really at all even, we could find that our pain points could have been addressed and solutions could have been found. In 2 incidences that were shared with me, the management's teams were unaware of the young supervisor's feelings, and there were solutions available that could have been implemented and solved all their concerns. That's of course not always the case, but by communicating on the front side when we're hitting those walls, we'll have the necessary information to make the right decisions with. Who knows, maybe both of these gentlemen could have gone right back to what they were doing originally. Communicating is probably the hardest thing that we do. We come in each shift, get our case counts or production numbers, and go straight to work. We're there to get the job done. I think every guest that we've had on the show has tried to stress to us the importance of communicating. Now, we can't confuse complaining with communicating, though. We've talked about communication on several episodes, and Rodrigo, Nathan, and Nelson all has given us examples of how important that one word is to us on the floor. Let's take a second and look it up again. Merriam-Webster defines communication, a process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior. And communicating, to convey knowledge of or information about, make known. Let's remember, we're working to make money, do something that we enjoy, and turn that enjoyment into a career that we can retire from, and that we control our success, not our bosses. I've kind of veered off topic again, so where was I? Okay, I was talking about how responsibility earns us more money. When our task is cutting and cleaning 1,000 linear feet of carpet at an hourly rate, and the forklift position pays a bit more, it's because we'll have a little bit more responsibility. Yes, a portion of that's because, we're operating a piece of equipment and are responsible for it and the safety practices that comes with it. But also, we may be responsible for properly tagging its actual length, color, etc., or getting it to the correct slot or staging area to be loaded on the correct truck heading to the right convention. An order selector might be paid a base rate, but if he or she selects above and beyond an amount per hour with no errors, they may be incentivized for it, being responsible for the cases and no errors. Really the same thing for moving into a lead or supervisor position. We'll have more responsibilities and may be paid proportionally for them. If we show up for our shift on time every day that we can, have a great attitude each day, not only follow the rules, processes, and procedures, but support them and encourage others to as well, we're going to be noticed. Noticed by our managers and management team. Add in participating in startup meetings and safety meetings, sharing with them that we want more responsibility and more money. we will have the opportunity to increase our yearly earnings by at least that $5,000 a year. I really believe it's just that simple. I see it done every year. We are responsible for our own success, and in our fields of warehousing, production, manufacturing, distribution, and transportation, or the world of operations, we can truly plan it out, implement that plan, and reach every goal we set for ourselves. Like I said earlier, I'm ready for the new year and all that it's going to bring for me. We here at WAOC would love to hear from each of you. What are your goals, and where is 2018 going to take you this year? Send us an email to host@warehouseandoperationsasacareer.com. If there's any ideas or suggestions through our experiences and opinions that may point you in the right direction, we'd be happy to share them. And don't forget about our Facebook and Twitter feeds. Use the little @ WHSEANDOPS to find us there, and we'd appreciate the likes and follows very much. If you're enjoying the show, be sure to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. Until next week, I guess I can add until next year today, let's get those New Year goals written out and a plan in place to reach them. And as always, let's put safety first, personally and professionally. We all have many people counting on us out there.